Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are on the March 1988 WWF the Magazine review with Andre the Giant on the cover. And man, I love that expression on Andre's face. So, March 88, just a month after my third birthday. So, obviously at 3 years old, I have no idea what's happening in WWF at this time, but so I am kind of excited to see at this era what's actually happening. Obviously, a lot of the stuff in this time period, rewatching like Coliseum videos, right, home videos, a lot of stuff in like Best of Hulkamania and like WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3. From kids, from childhood, that stuff we had. And, that's why I was familiar with a lot of things that were happening in the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s. So even though I may not have actually watched a lot of stuff, live when I was a kid, I still knew what was happening, or still had memories of that stuff, even though I physically didn't watch it when it was actually happening live. And that's why I could kind of, have conversations and talk about, those events, with people when we're having those actual live conversations. So March 88, last one we said was January of 88. So obviously we missed February, which I off the top of my head, I don't know what February was about. Yeah, I want to get February of 88. Because I kind of feel like I feel like 88 is probably a good year, and I don't think the magazines will actually be that crazy expensive. I think 88, 89 magazines will probably hover around maybe $15 to $30 a piece. So if I can get these magazines for around $20, I might start picking them up eventually. But the problem is, like I said, when I did these magazine reviews, I really wanted to do them in order, but I don't know. Do I really want to go backtrack and do them out of order? Maybe. We'll see what happens. If I do, it might be something like after I complete all of my magazines, maybe I'll backtrack and I'll start looking at the magazines that I missed, that I didn't do during the time period that I actually that I missed them during these reviews. All right, Survivor Series. I always talk about this right here, the Survivor Series 87. Yeah, it had to be Survivor Series 87. I don't think it was 88. And I can never remember the darn 5 guys, but here they are right here, which is awesome. Ken Patera, I think, is the one guy that always slips my mind. Yeah, why were they in 88 though? Because I'm almost positive Survivor Series 1987 was the first year that Survivor Series was out there. And yeah, I mean, they have the tape out available for purchase. So this right here is insane. All right, VHS tapes should never cost $40 for purchase. Now, maybe because they're wrestling tapes, maybe a little bit more expensive, but still, I don't care if they're brand spanking new, back in the golden age of VHS. To me, VHS tapes should always have been like $20. And even like later on in the 90s and early 2000s, like during the time period when DVDs started coming out, and you start seeing DVDs selling for like $20, and then, you were still buying VHS tapes because DVDs were $20, VHS were like $15. And I still, at that period, I preferred VHS tapes, but guess what? You put in a VHS tape, you have to stop watching it. You stop the tape, you take it out, put it back in its sleeve. You want to come back, watch it later on. You put that VHS right back in, guess what? You are continuing to watch that tape exactly where you left off, right? with the DVD, you take out that disc, you gotta go through all the chapters, fast forward or find the area. And let's say you're on chapter 11. Well, let's say that chapter is, I don't know, 20 minutes long, and you're at like 17 minutes into that chapter. You gotta, it's annoying. So I hated DVDs. It took me a long time before I could actually become a fan of DVDs, and then I just started kind of collecting DVDs because they were like the new thing. And by the time I got into the army, I had what did I have? I had like that little portable DVD player, the little small square, like a little small brick. I didn't even have a real DVD player. I had like the little small portable DVD player that I kind of had, that I plugged into my TV. That was my little DVD player. And I would always go to the PX like every weekend and buy me a couple movies. But, that was enjoyment though. And that's kind of how I built my DVD collection over the years. But this match right here was so freaking boring. I mean, it was good for like the first half of the match, but once everyone got eliminated and it was down to like Bam Bam Bigelow against One Man Gang and Bundy and Andre, it kind of got stupid. I mean, what freaking Bam Bam held his own, and he eliminated Bundy, he eliminated One Man Gang, awesome. But you have Andre the Giant. It's like a 40-minute match. He's in there for like the last 2 minutes of the match. I'm like, come on. Andre at this point is done. I love Andre the Giant. One of the biggest Andre the Giant fans in the world. But health, man. His health was gone. His body was diminished. He just could not handle the task of being in the ring. And to continuously ask him to put his body through the grind of wrestling, and I mean, I'm sure it wasn't just Vince and the WWF asking him to continue wrestling. I'm sure Andre had a lot to say in the matter of whether or not he wanted to still compete, and collect that paycheck, earn a living. But at some point, you gotta do what's best for the individual. And we all know Vince McMahon, he absolutely loved Andre the Giant, right? This wasn't just, one of your employees. This was a man he deeply respected and absolutely had a true love for. And when Andre died and Vince McMahon, gave interviews and he talked about him, Vince, he gets choked up talking about him because there's a real passion, real love for him, and you gotta respect that. I think Andre was, I mean, even like people who didn't watch wrestling still had a respect for Andre because the man was a movie star. He was a TV show. What was that? The Bionic Man, I think he was in, and oh man, what was that outfit that he was in with the big Sasquatch suit? I didn't watch Bionic Man. What was that, like from the 1970s or something? But they actually made an action figure with that outfit, and in fact, I might actually have that over here somewhere. Shoot! Luckily for me, I have it right here. Andre the Giant is Bigfoot. Just talking about him, this guy. $6 Million Man. That's what it was called. But, and then with Carrie Ells in, what was it? I almost called it The Princess Diaries. That wasn't the movie, but I know the freaking movie. We all know the freaking movie. We've seen it 100,000 times, but now the darn movie's like the title. I hate that. That drives me nuts. You can think about something a million times, but the second you start thinking about it, you can't remember what it's called. Princess Bride? Damn. WWF interview. Do I want to go through the interview with the honky tonk man? Nah, we'll skip over that. Kind of want to look at this right here with the Survivor Series match. Got Morocco, we got Patera. To me, it is so awkward with Paul Orndorff as a good guy. And of course, Bam Bam. I mean, to me, I think Bam Bam makes a better bad guy than good guy. There's certain guys like Macho Man. I mean, Macho Man, he goes back and forth, good guy, bad guy. I think he fits, either way. Bam Bam, I think same way. He fits as good guy or bad guy. Hogan, when he first came in, he was bad guy Hogan. So it's not like, Hogan, like when he went to NWO or went to WCW, joined NWO, like him turning, heel was like this big change or whatnot. I mean, he had history as being a bad guy, so... But the whole Winged Eagle belt, that is more familiar than what I associate with Hulk Hogan. But this has got to be one of my all-time favorite championship belts. I mean, just the color and the popping design that goes into this belt. I am not a belt collector by any means, but on eBay right now, there's actually a customizer that I saw that actually has like authentic LJN, man-made championship belts, and they're like $400 or something, $450, something like that on eBay. So if you look at the LJN, brown tag team belts, or like the black championship belts that go with your LJN figures, like they actually have, adult human-sized championship belts, and I'm like, you know what, damn, for the LJN collection, that might be something I might want to pick up just for the sake of, the LGN collection and for the sake of my Tuesday videos. But, like I said, I'm not a belt collector though. But like that particular belt we just looked at, maybe. I might want to pick up a few, but a few $100s for a belt that I'm really going to use for nothing more than aesthetic and for display. But then again, what are these for? Aesthetic and display, right? So it'll be something cool for the room and for the collection. Like I said, not everything in this collection is going to be action figure related, so it might be something nice. We got here Tahaku. See Greg Valentine. Who's that, Jim? We got Neidhart. Takes the crack of Jim Powers. All right. I don't know. Do I like him better in red, black, or yellow? I mean, obviously the black with yellow is more reminiscent to what I'm familiar with. Seeing him in all yellow is kind of awkward, but that's different. Seeing him in all red, I don't know. To me, in all red is kind of like more, I feel like more like a Red Rooster type of look. So that might get confusing sometimes. Created for combat, the Ultimate Warrior. Who was it? I don't know if it was someone who commented on my page, or maybe it was a video I saw. Dang, I just see so many things, man. I can't keep track of everything. Plus, my memory sucks. But whether I read it somewhere or I saw it in a video, I don't remember. Like I said, my memory shot. But someone was talking about how a young fan came up to Ultimate Warrior and asked him if he was the Dingo Warrior. And he got pissed off because he didn't want to be associated with the Dingo Warrior, didn't want him to know that he was the Dingo Warrior. I'm like, I don't know why. I mean, what is it? Kayfabe? You can't, like, you can't let people know that, hey, you were the same person or something. Or, you know, in second grade, Miss Hopkins, awesome teacher. But, you know, she wore a wig. And I remember one of my classmates, Jane, you know, she just so blatantly out of nowhere, she looks up at her and, you know, I forgot what we're doing, but she's like, is that a wig? And I remember Miss Hopkins just looking down at her, just snapping on her. This young girl just so innocent, just out of nowhere. Is that a wig? and she just went off. Well, not. I mean, she didn't like tear her new ass or anything like that, but she just kind of went off on a little bit. That's none of your goddamn business. And after a while, I think she kind of realized what she had done, so she kind of started speaking softly to her. You really want to know? Well, maybe it is a wig. I miss Miss Hopkins. She was a sweetheart, though. The 1987 Slammy Awards. All right, I see some results over here. All right, category. Let's see what we got here. Best performance by an animal. George Steele. Tainted. Damien the Snake, Frankie the Bird, and the Matilda the Bulldog. Man, that's so freaking stupid. Like I said, Tainted. Best personal hygiene. The Bolsheviks is slick. Alright, stupid. Best dressed. Winner, Harley Race. Stupid. Best group. One Man Gang. Right in choice. They have One Man Gang as a group. That's funny. Woman of the Year, Elizabeth. Shocker. Not really. Jesse, the Buddy Ventura category. Rick Rude. Alright, some of these categories are stupid. Greatest Hits of 1987. Category Manager of the Year. None of the... How do you not... Alright, lame. Best Vocal Performance. Alright, category. Best Song. Category. Bobby the Brain Heenan Scholarship. Best. Yeah, that's funny. Humanitarian of the Year, Ted DiBiase. Alright. That was anticlimactic. You know, I know Jason's doing his own little slammies, but you know what? After reading that, I'm about to do my own darn slammies, because damn it, that was That was so lame. Get him, Andre. You know what? What was that? Which Royal Rumble was it? Was it the 80, or not Royal Rumble, but the Battle Royal? I think 88, Battle Royal 89. Andre sneaks up behind Hogan, grabs him by the back of the head, has him by the hair, does one little headbutt, sends Hogan flying over the ropes. I'm like, what a lame way to eliminate Hogan. You know, Bundy and Hogan have had a lot of matches together. I feel like every time I've seen Bundy, he and Hillbilly Jim always seem to have been having matches together. But he and Hogan always seem to be having matches together as well. Time over the ring, the mighty giant holds his belt, so he so treasures. Andre's attack on Hogan was so overwhelming, the crowd was stunned at the ferocity of the assault and Hogan's inability to thwart it. Yep. I think these guys would have been an amazing tag team. Could you imagine having like a 3-man tag team? I mean, you had Demolition, right? And you've got like the Freebirds, for example, and you've got like the Freebird Rule, right? Where if a 3-man tag team has a championship, it doesn't matter which member of the 3-man tag team, participates. So if A and B wins the tag team championship, A and C can defend the championship, or B and C can defend the championship. As long as 2 of the 3 members are defending, they can defend it, they can lose it, right? So I'm thinking, the Twin Towers, which they would obviously have to alter that name, but the Triple Towers or something, I don't know. But I think you put Bam Bam with One Man Gang and Big Boss Man at that time, I think they would have made an awesome Freebird style tag team. Put like, obviously you would have the 3 members of Demolition. Throw in like a really killer member of Legion of Doom, add like another heavy hitter. I would have loved to have seen a lot more 3-member tag teams. Once Dynamite got injured, I mean, Davey Boy would have been an awesome 3rd member to the Hart Foundation. So, I mean, there were options. You could have said Owen, but I think Owen was a little bit, smaller. So maybe not the heavy hitter, but I mean, he was a very awesome technical wrestler. So, possible. But of course, Owen never got, like I said, Owen was someone that really didn't get his appreciation, not until like maybe the mid-90s. So, in the late 80s, early 90s, he was still more of a jobber type. So if he was part of that 3-member tag team, you probably wouldn't have seen the Hart Foundation ever become tag team champions again. Not really. Or you'd see Jim and Brett win, and you'd probably see Brett and Owen lose. Or Jim and Owen lose, or something like that. Man, wearing that damn fur coat, I swear to God, this man reminded me of Ron Perlman from the TV series Beauty and the Beast. He almost had the face for it too. And we are winding down to the last few pages. Yep, we're already hitting the wrap up. And that was January's. That was the last magazine we just did. And this is going to be it. I think this is the last page. Yeah, this is it. So, March 1988. This was a good magazine. I don't like that this was damaged, but I think I probably didn't pay a hefty price on it due to its discrepancy. So, yeah, what did this say? The nation's #1 wrestling magazine, obviously. Well, guys, as always, what did I say up here? In the issue, Andre attacks Hogan, Slammies, and Hunky interview. Yeah. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another WWF the Magazine review. And until next week, thanks, everybody.